Hey guys, welcome back to Ollie Talks Airsoft. Today we're going to be talking about tips for second-hand buying, and so this is not just buying a second-hand riff, but also like optics and stuff like that. So anything that you're looking for that you're going to buy second-hand, listen to what I've got to say now because it's probably going to help you out. So the first thing I'm going to say, we're only 20 seconds in, nobody sells you their best gun. Just bear that in mind. Like, no one, if they're getting out of the sport, they might have a bunch of different guns that they're going to be liquidating and loads of kit that they're getting rid of. You might have something really good in there, but for the most part, someone that's selling, for example, let's just talk about a pistol, or fuck it, I've got a shotgun in front of me. Let's talk about a shotgun. Say someone's selling a Cam 870 second hand. What would I be looking for when I was buying something like this? Well, ideally, I know that this isn't the most practical gun in the world. So know what you're buying, know your brands, know what version of things you're looking at. So for example, if someone was going to sell you a Cam 870 like this, would you be looking for a version 1, a version 2 or a version 3? And what's the difference? So it's important you know what you're actually going to be buying, and I'm guessing most of you guys will probably have a good idea of what you're buying. The other thing that I tend to look for is anything that's like highly upgraded. So anything where someone said, right, I've had a tech go in, this has got all of these magical parts in it that make it work better than every other gun. Oh yeah, so why are you selling it? I always just bear that in mind. I always just think, yeah, it's not going to be perfect when it comes to me. There are going to be some issues with it, and there are going to be problems. And I always kind of have that in the back of my mind that whatever I pick up second hand, what's the parts availability for it? Now, this is a really, really important point. This is critical as far as I'm concerned. You'll see a lot of people that are selling, for example, maybe a second-hand KWA pistol, and historically, actually, KWA parts are bloody hard to get hold of. The best thing to do, or certainly my best advice, would be if you're looking for something like that, maybe someone says that, they've got a KWA with a broken trigger bar, and, you're thinking, oh, actually, cool, they're only selling it for 70 quid. Well, first off, can you source that trigger bar? Do you have a contact to get it? Do you have the right company to go to get that trigger bar that you're going to need? And how much is it going to cost you, and how much is it going to cost to get it delivered? Because that's going to have to factor into the cost of buying whatever gun that you're buying. So for me personally, I would look at something like a KWA and just be like, I'm not interested, because the parts are a pain in the ass to get hold of. I can't get them easily in the UK. You can get them, so if you're really desperate, that's really the gun that you want, then yeah, crack on. But in reality, just bear that in mind. So something I normally look at when I'm buying second-hand stuff is, like, it comes back to a bit of like knowing your brand and knowing what each brand is worth. So I know that a Tokyo Marui pistol, straight out of the box, is going to be probably between like 110 and 130 pounds. So not hugely expensive. So when I see someone selling a second-hand pistol, a second-hand Tokyo Marui pistol for what, 200 quid with 3 mags, you're having a laugh, aren't you? Like, no way am I going to pay that. But actually, when someone says, oh, I'm selling, a Tokyo Marui pistol with 3 mags and a broken front sight, first thing I'll do is pop onto Impulse 101, see if they got the front sight in stock, and see how much it costs to get delivered. So most pistols, the front sight is about 3 quid. Most of the time, delivery is going to run you 3 or 4 quid. For under a tenner, you can get that, and someone might very well be listing a pistol for like £60, just because there's a very simple thing wrong with it. And actually, a little bit of research can save you a huge amount of money. Because if you were looking to buy, for example, an XDM or something like that, I've seen one go up recently for I think £60 because it was missing a front sight, and the reality is that's going to cost you a tenner to fix. So, for £70, you can have an XDM, and actually the retail is about £130. So there's money to be saved there. And that kind of brings me on, and I've kind of talked a little bit there about the other thing that I really look for when it comes to buying something second-hand, and that's what comes with it. Especially for me, I mean, I'm only going to be buying like gas guns. So with gas guns, the mags tend to be very expensive. For a pistol, the magazines can be up to like £30. If you've got a rifle, they can be up to sort of like £80 if you're buying like GHK CO2 mags or something like that. They can be hugely expensive. So, knowing what the gun costs brand new and knowing what the mags cost brand new is going to help you to make an assessment as to whether actually someone's really offering something that's worthwhile or if it's kind of not. And even when something is sold as being like, this works 100%, just don't bank on it. Just always have it in the back of your mind that there could very well be something wrong, and it may not be the seller knows that there's anything wrong with it. It could be something that, you know, that they've overlooked, or, you know, they were just used to like the hop-up being crap, you know, and they've just never had a decent hop-up system in a gun, and you buy it and you're like, this is crap, and they're like, well, no, that's normal, like that's how all guns shoot. Well, you know, everyone has different standards, you know, and you've got to understand that the different people will say, oh, this is excellent, immaculate condition, and in your opinion, actually, no, it's crap, and it's not a good shooter. So that brings me on to the next point, which is, if you have the opportunity to, try and get hands-on. I know, obviously, during the COVID times, you know, everyone obviously stays safe, mask up, all that kind of stuff. But in reality, you're not going to get a better experience than when you actually get hands-on with whatever you're going to be purchasing, and you say, right, that's what I want. Let's give it a go. Let's make sure it actually functions, does everything it's supposed to do. Does it load properly? Does it shoot properly? And at that point, you know that your money's basically not going to be wasted, and that's all you're kind of looking to do, like not lose money. Bear with me one sec, police are going past. Okay, they're gone. So the next thing that you're going to think about is what actually comes with it. So a lot of the time people will be they'll sell the full kit. So they'll be like, right, here's a rifle, it comes with backup iron sights, a foregrip, a bipod, all of these other things. And actually, it's sometimes worth reaching out to the seller and being like, how much for the gun and the mags? Like, I don't need any of that other stuff. Or potentially, you might have to take on that liability and try and shift the stuff on yourself. But it's often worth asking the seller, you know, are they willing to split? If it's something that, you know, if you've already got an AEG and you've got 20 M4 mags, you don't want another 10. Unless they're particularly, like, good mags that you happen to... I don't know anything about AEG mags, but if they happen to be really good and they're worth it, then, you know, crack on, do it. So one of the last things I'm going to talk about is just with regard to like actually paying for things. So the dodgiest way to do anything is in cash. The best way to do things for me personally has always been PayPal. I always make my purchases via goods and services, so I never do it friends and family unless it is actually friends and family. You need to have some point of recourse, so if anything does go wrong, you need to be able to back that up and be able to get your money back. If you offer to send the money over to someone as goods and services, and they say, oh, can you bank transfer or send me friends and family, that's a red flag. Be aware of it. It doesn't mean that they're trying to swindle you or con you or anything, but it does, for me, it raises a red flag. What I usually do in those situations is I will offer to cover the PayPal fees. So I'll say to them, right, if you're worried about the PayPal fees, I will. There's fee calculators on Google. You can go on there. You can work out, you know, how much the fees associated with that purchase are going to be, and you can offer to send the amount including that. If they turn around and say no, then walk away. Just walk away from it. It's not worth it. You will have no point of recourse, and whatever money you're handing over to that person, be prepared to get nothing in return. So be very careful when it comes to anyone that's not willing to do either PayPal or, you know, or make a payment through your credit card, because at least through your credit card you're going to have some sort of backup. So the last and probably the most boring bits that I'm just going to cover off is UK law. So if you're going to be purchasing a RIF, so something like this in the UK, then you are still going to need to have your UCARA or a valid defence under the Violent Crimes Reduction Act. So you are still going to have, so for me I use UCARA because I'm a site member and I play Airsoft regularly. So for me that's my defence. For anyone else you will also have to have like your valid defence. When I talked at the start of this video, by the way, about not just this referring to like optics, not just guns, but optics and stuff as well. That's very much when it comes to like the payment side of things. So just be very, very careful when you're actually making payment for anything. So yeah, be warned, guys, because I don't think anyone out there is particularly out to scam, but there are there's some nefarious characters out there that you just don't want to be associated with. So pretty much with all that being said, all I can say now is just good luck with your second-hand buying. So just remember, okay, so I'm going to quickly run through those key points again. Firstly, nobody ever sells you their best gun. Secondly, know the cost of the gun brand new and know the cost of the mags brand new. Okay. Thirdly, know if you can make an offer to the seller and basically either take some mags off or accessories that you don't particularly need or want. they will often drop the price a little bit. Fourthly, watch out for very highly upgraded guns. Anything that's had lots of text working on it and lots of people looking inside it. It's probably been through half a dozen people and it's on its way to you. Yeah, you don't want to be the butt of that joke, so just skip it. Don't bother. And finally, I'd always say, not finally, but I mean, next up, make an offer. If someone advertises something for £300, lowball it, go in 220, and at least at that point you're starting a negotiation, and you might be able to get the money down a bit. And then actually the final points were going to be always try and pay through PayPal. Never pay friends and family unless it is genuinely friends and family, and you know the person well enough that you know where they live, and you can pop round and get your money back if you need it, basically. So, just bear that in mind, guys, because the last thing that anyone wants to do is obviously send your money to someone and receive nothing in return. That's the worst case scenario. So with all those things being said, yep, that's it. Good luck, guys. If you live in the UK, I'll probably be trying to bid on some of the same things that you will, so we'll be in competition. Feel free to hate for that, but you never know. If you miss out, you might actually see something on this channel, so who knows. I'm always trawling the second-hand markets to see what's coming up, to see what's available, to see what things people are getting rid of. So if you've stuck around this long, well done. Your reward is the best second-hand airsoft marketplaces in the UK are going to be Used Airsoft, Pre-Fired, Zero In, which is the 01 forum, and the UK Airsoft forum. So those are the most active and they're the most used sites. So if you're looking for anything, they're the four places, in the UK anyway, they're the four places that you should really go and check if you're looking for something new. And all of them get updated on a daily basis. And it's interesting actually because a lot of people will upload to one and not another. So a lot of the you might see the same gun on two of the sites, but a lot of the time you'll only see it appear on one of the sites and not the other three. Or there are plenty of others. I think there's like a Pew Hub site and things like that. There's a bunch about, but they're certainly the most, in my experience, they're the most active and they're the most regularly updated ones in the UK. So if you're going to be looking for something, that's probably your best. That's your best place to start looking. Finally, for you collectors out there who are going to be looking for more like a Western Arms, a Tanaka, a Maruzen, or you know exactly what you're looking for. Try checking Gun Trader and Gunstar.com, because a lot of the time what people have done is 20 years ago they when live pistol firearms and things like that got banned in the UK, a lot of people went out and bought airsoft replicas of the real steel firearms that they had. So for example, you'll have seen an unboxing I did recently of a Parrot Ordnance, a Western Armed Parrot Ordnance. The guy that I purchased that off actually had a real one, and when handguns were banned in the UK in that particular form, obviously you can have them with the big long bits on the back and stuff, but we're not talking about that. He said basically when they got banned, he went out and bought himself this Parrot Ordnance, a Western Arms one, and it's basically stayed stuck in his attic for the best part of 20 years before he dug it out and decided to sell it on. But because the guy was like in his 60s, he doesn't really use airsoft second-hand selling sites. He's more familiar with, I don't know do you remember free ads? Like free ads used to be the thing. Like way back in the day, it was a newspaper that came out. But that's the sort of thing. So it's often worth looking through some of the actual firearms forums for real guns and looking on there, because most of them do have an airsoft gun section, and the only people that tend to put stuff in there are people that have basically dug through their loft, pulled out a gun and gone, oh yeah, I'll sell this, and the sites that they're familiar with are Gunstar, Gun Trader. So I've managed to pick up a few bargains on there, and I've managed to find some really good condition collector's guns. This is probably the stupidest thing I've ever said to you, because it means that I'm now going to have a lot more challenges in future, but I'm genuinely the sort of person that wants to help out everyone, and I've got a few nice collector's guns, and I don't see why you guys shouldn't also. So there you go, that's my tips. I've laid it all out bare. Hopefully you appreciate that, and if you have, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Obviously there's going to be lots more videos coming up. We've got so many more topics to cover off, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, until the next one, just take care, guys.